Hey guys, uh, I'm going to really quickly show my gear spec, talents, and pretty much really quickly explain what's my thought process behind it. This is for a special request, and I hope you find it useful, and I hope it answers your question. This is usually my talent tree. This is like my default choice. For example, on some weeks that are necrotic, I might switch to a physical buff. On instances like King's Rest or Upper Mechagon Workshop, I might also remove the Consecrated Ground and switch to Judgment of Light or Aegis. Actually, depends on the situation. Uh, Also, I changed talents for Blouse. I might take Repentance in order to crowd control some of the marksmen and other stuff. Of course, Blessed Hammer is always a good choice for free hold. Again, it really depends on the week, and because if it's a high tyrannical, Holy Shield actually is not that bad because it provides extra protection against the first boss, which also isn't a really bad decision. Uh, Dungeons like Motherload, I'm still considering a few others as well, but dungeons like Motherload, I'm actually changing my spec in the middle of the dungeon, mostly for survivability, but also for the damage output. After the second boss, there's really no more point for having class defender, so I'm switching to Seraphim. Um, Mostly because of its defensive capabilities. Because the last two bosses in Motherload, they don't do any normal attacks and physical damage. So I'm trying to go for maximum uh, uh, magic damage reduction, and extra mastery and versatility from Seraphim is actually pretty nice in these situations. Of course, for the second part, I'm gonna go with probably Judgment of Light or Aegis. Mostly Aegis, because of uh, the third boss in Motherload. It's actually really useful. It's like an additional bark skin for someone who's soaking the dots from the third boss. And generally, that's the idea behind most of the talents. Again, it's really up to you. I'm not claiming that I've taken so much time to think through every possible combination, but it's mostly about feel. Going through essences really quickly. Again, this is my default configuration. Conflict and Strife and Nullification Dynamo are almost always locked in. Maybe Nullification and Dynamo has some places that it's not that good. Again, like Freehold, for example. For Freehold, you can always consider using Aegis. It's not a bad choice, or even Vision Miner, it's not that bad. And if you're really confident that you won't have any survivability issues, then Crucible of Flame is also very nice there. Let's just return to my default choice. Strength of the Wardens is the new essence, and it's actually really good. Part of it is because it's for the 10%, 10 extra corruption resistance, which helps you keep below 40, and as a tank in behind Meticulous, you should always go below 40 corruption because of the thing from Beyond and the way it's ridiculously spawns for tanks. Another good thing though for Strength of Wardens is that it's actually insane amount of healing. I mean, it's like 10% at the end of the dungeon. It's like 10% of my total healing, which is a lot, and it's really useful. Then weeks like Grievous, it has a lot of mana. Now for this specific week, for example, it's currently necrotic and bursting. I'm not entirely sure I'm gonna use it. I actually haven't still unlocked my next back level. Uh, Next corruption resistance, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna go with the same gear because the 3 extra corruption might actually unlock another possibility for a gear swap, which I'm going to investigate this week. But for the previous one, I was going with this choice. Uh, for major, Lucid Dreams is like always the default choice you should consider for High Mythic Plus. There are a few exceptions, and I'm still trying to get the feel for everything because um, I mean the essence itself is really strong, and it's a safe choice if you're having doubt. You should always go for it, and only in dungeons where you are feeling 100% sure that you're going to be comfortable without it, then you shouldn't take it. Um, it's not only because it increases the regeneration rate of your mitigation, but the leech it gives, it's 1400 leech, which transfers to 35 extra leech, which is insane amount of healing again for you in situations uh, that at the same time you're recovering a lot of mitigation. It's a really strong cooldown. Um, if you want to go, if another options you can also go is Crucible if you want to go offensive because of the damage is insane. It's I think it's the same value as Seraphim, unless it's even more actually. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember that it was a really strong choice if you want to go damage wise. Another is the Vision of Perfection Major. Again, uh, if you even discard the offensive capabilities, it's really strong choice because each proc of the wings it actually provides you Light the Protector with a 100% chance to crit, which actually makes it a strong global, as in mediocre. uh, Again, it's a really nice choice. I've tried Formless Void. The reason that it actually has cast it makes it almost uh, worthless. Touch of Everlasting, I'm actually for the second half of Motherlode, I'm actually going to. I have a build for it. Can't switch essences at the moment, but it's pretty much this with Touch of Everlasting as a major. Um, Again, the last two bosses, especially on High Tyrannical and Motherlode, are super scary, and I even have a specific set I'm gonna show to you after regarding Motherlode, and having the cheated effect of this essence gives you a really, how can I say, good sense of the fight, and it makes you feel comfortable that you're not going to have any uh, one shot that should overreact and overcommit with defensives. Another thing that's really useful is that it resets the cooldown of your Guardian of Ancient Kings, which again makes you um, uh, makes you feel comfortable enough to pop the Guardian of the Ancient Kings wherever you feel you might need it, and don't worry that you might need it at a later point, because even if the cheated procs, then you're still gonna have it as an extra cooldown, so it's really nice. And since it's only for the last two bosses, the 10-minute cooldown of this effect doesn't really affect you that much, since you pretty much have 10 minutes till the end of the dungeon. Uh, okay, going through Azurites really quickly. So my Azurites, I'm pretty happy with those. Again, not entirely sure that they're the best choice, but still, I'm going with one Inspiring Vanguard and one Soaring Shield, uh, two Bulwark. Again, you don't really need more of those. The offensive value for stacking extra is not that much, and I don't believe that the defensive value from stacking Soaring Shield is actually going to be really good, and it's going to outperform, for example, Bulwark, which is actually our, I think, maybe strongest defensive uh, Azerite trait. Yeah, our strongest Azerite trait. Another thing is the Heart of Darkness. Again, really powerful, really good DPS increase, and again, really good stat value for an Azerite trait, and Clockhark. I think it's actually one of the strongest ones. You can have only one of those. I've currently used it on chest. I might actually swap to shooter soon. I'm going to check when I get the resume to buy a specific piece. I'm not entirely sure though. I'm still going to play around with it and test a few things. Uh, I do wish I had more in passive visage this really strong trait, but again, I'm not really uh, that worried. But since strength of the numbers and bulwark appliances is not that bad for Mythic Plus either. Uh, that's pretty much it regarding Azerite traits. There's nothing much to it. I actually really like Righteous Conviction as well, but I'm not getting the slots for Azerite at the moment, but having it really makes your heal feel way more useful than usual. But again, and it has a good synergy with Major Vision. But again, it's an HKS thing and more of a feel, not of a good performance. Uh, Going through the gear. Oh, let me just go first with the stats really quickly. I don't have a specific template that I'm following. Basically, I'm just trying to keep myself around the 10-ish% of versatility. I mean, if I could be more, I'm gonna go for more, but I'm trying not to fall below 10% versatility. Um, I'm trying to put as much haste as possible without damaging my other stats. I feel like 20% versatility, 20% mastery is like a good middle ground where you get um, good value for the mastery or haste or whatever crit rating that you're receiving, because you're not affected that much of diminishing returns at this point. And as a tank, you generally should consider using your highest item level possible, because it provides most strength and stamina, which translates directly to survivability. And yeah, so I'm not following any specific template. I'm trying to put more haste because the class feels best if you're having most haste. I'm actually really happy with the uh, combination of gear that I managed to put up for the previous week uh, for this one. It's the April week. Um, it's it felt really good playing with the 34% haste, and especially if you go to Junkyard, it goes to 41%, and you're getting some Legion levels of haste, which feels really good, just in terms of gameplay and reaction times. But again, uh, I should probably consider now that I'm moving more to 22 and trying 23 level of keys. I'm gonna probably move more towards versatility. I'm actually maybe going to try to um, get more versatility presets of my gears so I can be more tanky. Even though it's not like I'm feeling squishy at the moment, but there are places that it would make the game really way simpler and let a lot of pressure off of the killer. So going quickly through the gear, most of my pieces you're going to see haste and versatility. If I manage to try, my sockets are I think all are with this versatility and um, all are versatility, and my enchants are with versatility as well. So the rings are the ones from Mechagon, and I'm quite happy with those. Again, I'll probably have to switch those with versatility rings at a later point. The three different spells combination of the rings with the haste buff gives you pretty much 3% extra haste permanently. because the effect of the rings has 15 seconds of cooldown, but as Paladin you pretty much use 3 different abilities constantly in your rotation, so um, it's not that of a problem and that big of a problem, and you always get the 189% of haste on your gear. Uh, my gloves are the ones that I've bought in the first month of 8.3 and they're actually really good because of the stats and the corruption, but again the low even level will probably force me to swap them pretty soon. The belt is also really nice. Natural devastation rank 1 and again has versatility with a 475 item level. It's also really nice. Haste verse Lex. No, I think I've currently socketed the bracers because they give leech as well, the pants and the ring. These are my sockets that I've used from Visions and I'm happy about those currently. You never know what's going to get in the chest next week. But, boots again, mostly because of the expedient. Uh, I'm happy with those as well because as you can see I'm falling below 20% mastery and I'm gonna get good value uh, from those boots. Weapon, I can't say. Now this weapon I think roughly translates to 2 or 3%. I think it was around 3% damage per the entire dungeon, which I'm not entirely sure if it's good enough to justify the loss of secondary stats. I just don't have a better weapon at the moment. If I have a weapon with 475 weapon with haste and versatility, I'm probably gonna switch to it at a later point. The shield is 75, 475 with an expedient 3 trait, which again I'm kind of happy about it. Probably I would have switched with for a case verse shield as well, but you don't know. Trinkets, I'm going mostly with defensive trinkets. I can say I'm fairly happy about the Machimba one. It's a relatively weak trinket, but again, not that doesn't feel that bad in Mythic Plus and as Paladin when you kind of spike it at points and every now and then when your HP spikes, it's actually not that bad to have the trinket for an extra. It feels like an extra lateral protector, but maybe even slightly better because it's on the global cooldown. This trinket, I think it was roughly around 8% of my healing done per instance. It's I can't say that it's good or anything. I haven't been raiding, and maybe the Zod trinket would be better in this spot. If I had mythic trinket for Malt, I was probably going to use it as well. I have the heroic version of the trinket, which I'm actually using. For the mother mode. I'm going to show my preset soon. But yeah, I have really good offensive trinket, the Fang, and also the where is it? If you're playing Vision, the animated blood is not bad at all. Having low percent crit actually makes the Butcher trinket as well really strong trinket, but again I cannot, I don't feel comfortable enough to use offensive trinkets at this point, mainly because I'm using offensive corruptions. My current corruptions are 2 Twilight Devastations, one rank 1 and one rank 2, into Expedient, rank 2 and rank 3. This is why I'm actually 4% haste, which is relatively high. As I said, if I consider going for I'm going to consider for going for versatility corruptions at later point. As soon as I actually get good pieces with versatility, um, corruptions, because there are good versatility builds that I'm not sure they're going to work out best for Paladins, but I'm going to give them a try as my keys get higher, because I'm currently doing around the 22, 23 range of keys. I can say that I felt really squishy, but Paladins in general are way squishier than, I mean, they're incomparable to warriors, and uh, they're almost incomparable to warriors or monks, maybe. I'm not sure how monks are actually performing this season, but they actually, with the versatility aspect that they have, they're really tanky as well. I'm not gonna even throw Demo Hunters are ridiculous in terms of tankiness this season. So yeah, we are kind of squishy. I'm not sure we're going to click really good with the versatility spec, but I might actually try it. I'm gonna give you an update at later point. I'm actually gonna try to show my gear at the start of the dungeon each time, just so people can take a quick look if they are interested in. If I remember, of course. The other spec that I've currently prepared is this one. It's using one gushing wound and uh, only one twilight devastation. Basically changes this belt. Uh, yeah, because it's less corruption, I'm actually playing it with either Vision of Perfection, which gets me to around 20% versatility, which is better, slightly better, really not like a big deal, but it's not bad at all. Uh, this is a more single target oriented dungeon. Is for more single target oriented dungeons. For example, last week was bolstering in Siege of Burrows. I like to play as single target as possible there, because pretty much the spotter kills everything, and you have to single target kill commanders or other mobs that are not affected by the spotter. Again, I'm pretty happy with the 31% haste for this build. It's really good. I I was probably gonna go with it if I got workshop key as well. Um, Maybe King's Rest as well. I'm not sure. I did a King's Rest, but I think I forgot to swap the gear there. Uh, I'm gonna go to the Motherload one, which I think is this one. No, this is actually a throw Motherload key, because it's a DPS one. For higher keys, I'm actually using this, which is three versatile pieces, and making void and gushing wound. Again, this is only for the second part of the instance. This is using the bracers from Mechagon, which I don't think. I mean, they're really good for the on-use effect. There's not really a good use for them for the on-use effect, but they give Echoing Void, which kind of fitted in with my corruption at the time of thinking it. Um, as I mentioned before, you can see that I'm running three versatile pieces, and I'm only at 40% haste, which is again bad luck, because my versatile pieces don't have versatility on them, which again doesn't really work out great. For Mechagon, I'm using again the three different spells, but with the magic damage reduction ring, and I'm using the second on-use trinket. This is mainly because if you go to Motherload, the last two bosses, they pretty much do their normal attacks are actually magic damage, and they do it on some sort of waves, because they do few casts like helicopters for the last boss, or Gatling guns, and then they hit you like 2 or 3 times. And this is the same for Rix as well. She's doing few casts, and then she's hitting you like 2 or 3 times. And basically, I'm trying to rotate one trinket, another trinket, Seraphim, uh, Argent Defender, even 5-minute CD if necessary, maybe Bubble, just putting the usage there. For Motherload, as I mentioned, I was going Seraphim, so if I'm if I use Seraphim, I'm pretty much at 30% versatility on this spec, yeah, which is really good actually for this fight. Uh, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything more to add. I'm actually gonna go and do a vision here and upgrade my back level. See if I can make another rotation with my corruption pieces, which might change my gear slightly, but again, it's probably not gonna deviate a lot from the current configuration here. We'll see. So I hope that was useful. Feel free to ping me with any more questions if you have, either on YouTube or whatever. And that's it. Best of luck. See you around.